Welcome to the MDN network for you, modern day niggas. Sorry about that, Brennen. What's going on with you today?
What's up, man?
Yeah, man. Introduce people to yourself, bro.
What's up, y'all? My name is Brennan Myers. I'm a country artist. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. We out here in Columbia.
Let me get my boys. So how you get started, bro? Where you from?
I'm from Indian Trail, so I'm from a
Bro.
small town down the road from Charlotte, probably about 15, 18 miles or so.
Okay.
Grew up in a country part before it became bigger Charlotte, I guess, if you could say it that way. Um, yeah, man, Indian Trail's my stomping grounds. That's where a lot of my stories come from. A lot of my songs come from. And I'm a 704 kid. Born in Charlotte at CMC, Maine. So, I rep the four all day, really, when
Right,
it boils down to it. But I'm I'm a small town podunk for real. So,
right. So what inspired your music and stuff?
uh, a lot of my music is inspired by the stories, the life I've lived.
Mm.
I'm young. I'm 29, so I mean
Okay.
I'm still young, but I've lived a lot of life, dog.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
shit.
So,
I can
and we
imagine.
all have,
Mm-hmm.
we all have. Everybody has stories, and I'm not saying I've had it harder than anybody. I'm not saying I've had it more difficult than anybody, because everybody's level of difficulty is different. Um, but what I do have, I use as my fuel to paint a picture to let others know that, like, there's hope, I guess. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I use my stories to push the narrative of, you it is not as bad as you might think it is, but at the same time, like, I've been there, I've seen it, I've lived it, and this is the living part of it, but at the same time there's life after life, if that makes
No,
sense.
it made good sense. So that's why I want to ask you, like, what made you get into the studio and start? What started the music?
Uh um I went through a really dark time when I got back from acting school in California. It was
Mm.
like 6 years, 7 years of straight darkness, and I got back into my own light, I guess you could say, and my surroundings was a lot different,
Mm.
and I couldn't understand. I couldn't piece it together. I
Right.
couldn't figure it out. And my friends wasn't there. They was acting weird, and I'm like, what's going on, man? I don't get this.
Mm.
And I didn't have nobody to talk to. I didn't have nobody to talk to. I didn't have nobody to turn to. So I started writing.
Mm.
I started writing down my feelings for real, like what I thought, what I felt, and it started with me just jotting down in rap form, because
Right.
that's all I knew. That's the only way I knew to write, was like by bars and just saying it.
Mm.
And um just one of the girls that lives in my neighborhood. I grew up playing basketball with her brother,
Mm.
and she came by while I was in the street smoking a cigarette one night. She came by and she stopped, and she was talking to me, and she was like, my brother just dropped a mixtape. And I was like, oh, that's cool. A mixtape, that's cool. I've thought about doing something like that. How do you do that? What do you do? And she was like, well, first you go to the studio, and you got to record songs. And I was like, oh, okay. How do you do that? Like,
Yeah.
what's the studio? Where's the studio at? And she
Mm.
was like, well, he goes to this one called Platinum Plus. Shout out Slim Hood, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
And Sonny. But she was like, he goes to this one called Platinum Plus. And I was like, okay, well, where's that at? She was like, it's right up the road. She was like, just go Google it. And then,
Mm.
she put it in my hands.
Right. Right.
She was like, go Google it. And I was like, okay. So I got done smoking a cigarette, went inside, sat on mom and dad's couch, and went to Google and Google Platinum Plus.
Right.
And I went in there with what I had, and just, I didn't know nothing about beats at the time or nothing like that. So I just went in there with my thoughts and my words. And actually the first day I ever went to the studio was in the snow. And
What?
that's Charlotte, North Carolina, dog. That's
Yeah,
Indian Trail, North Carolina. There ain't no snow like that.
exactly.
So like it was snowing, and I was like, "Well, this is the day I'm supposed to go to the studio." I was like, I don't know if they gonna be there or not."
Hmm.
And I drove because it wasn't too far. I pulled up anyway and rang the doorbell, and this Sonny came to the doorbell and was like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "What's up?" I didn't know if you'd be here or not. He was like, "Man, I didn't know if you'd show up either."
Hmm.
He was like, "But you here, so let's work." And
Right.
I just started putting my thoughts out and really just venting, letting it go one way
Hmm.
or another. And I did that a couple times, and then like I said, I was still trying to piece things together, and beautiful sights came to my mind,
I was gonna
and
ask you about
it was a freestyle.
that song.
After I went to the studio a couple times, I kind of, I guess, started just kind of freestyling with little melodies and stuff like that. And
Right.
I was walking through mom and dad's laundry room one day, and I was like, I low key screamed it, to be honest with you, but I
Really?
was like, should have talked to you a little bit
Yeah.
more. Should have let you come over to my home. Should have never started acting like a home. Man, I should have took that phone call. Now I see you got another mess.
Mhm.
I can't even tell you where I've been. Girl, I swear to you I 10. But I'm here to tell you we can still be friends. Like, oh, we can still be friends. And I was like, yo, that's kind of hard.
Yeah, shit, you hold feeling it pretty good too.
I
Damn,
was
damn, you saw that shit live and it sound good.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, that's kind of dope. So I sat
Hmm.
down and wrote it. And then I went back and I had the song written out, and that was my way of trying to piece my life together, was
Hmm.
that song. That's why it sounds like there's a couple different things going on in it, because literally there was a couple different things that I was
Right.
trying to find track record for.
Mhm.
And I went back, but with Sonny again. And actually, I tried recording Beautiful Sights 3 times. I tried recording it with
Mhm.
Slim on just something that Slim had, and I was in there for an hour, and I was trying to force it, and Slim's like, it ain't working.
Was it a different beat?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
something completely different.
oh, okay.
And Slim was like, it ain't working. And
Hmm.
I was like, I mean, I can give you another 50. We can do another hour. And he was like, I'd be glad to take your money, but this ain't working. And I'm telling
Right.
you right now, like, I would love to take your money, but I'm telling you, you're going to waste it
Mm.
and go home and redo this. And I was like, okay. And then I went back, went with Sonny again, started singing it. Sonny went to YouTube, found a beat, then I put it, then Sonny put it, and then he was like, go lay that. And then I
Mm.
went in and I did Beautiful Sights, and that part, I can't tell you where it all went wrong. Tell you that's the only reason for the song. Thoughts you know they get going kinda long, but my feelings for you are still strong.
Damn.
Yeah, my feelings for you are still strong. After I did that, Sonny cut me off,
Mhm.
and then he looked at me and he was like, and then tapped in to the studio with the button, and
Right,
he was
right.
like, "Bro, what the heck did you just do?" I was
Mm.
like, "I have no clue, dog." And he was like, "Bro, I've never heard anybody do that before in my life."
No.
And then he called one of the other guys in the studio in to come listen, and then I was like, "Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate it, man."
Mm.
And he was like, "Bro, that was insane." And I was like, "All right." And then I was like, well, you want to keep going? He's like, dang, you got more? I was like, yeah. He was like,
Mm.
yeah, hell yeah, keep going. I was like, okay. And the reason I even talk about it so vividly is just because that was that turning point in
Mhm.
in my career, I guess you could say,
Right,
like where
right.
we're at now. Like that was my turning point, and that moment was like I felt something inside of me low key snap when I started singing that part.
Mm.
And then when Sonny chimed in, that was just confirmation like,
Right.
young man, I don't know if you know what you're doing or not, but you're doing something.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. But hey, we're on a time limit here. Like, I got to
Right.
keep going type deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I really didn't know what I was doing.
Oh shit.
I was just trying to piece things together, get them off my chest, and low key, people were loving it.
Mm.
And it felt right. It felt nice. It felt cool. And it it kind of made me feel like I was living in a sense of purpose for the first time in like a long time.
Damn.
And that's when, after that, Sonny mentioned New Music Tuesday to me, the
Right.
Coalition DJs, and I went and pulled up to New Music Tuesday. I did 3 songs that night. Beautiful Sights was the last song I did.
Mm.
And then after that is when D Tech walked up to me and was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you you local?" I was like, "Yeah."
Mm.
And he was like, I was like, "I'm right down the road." He was like, "You got Instagram?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." He was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Add me on Instagram." I was like, "Okay." And everybody that night was like, "Yo, add me on IG, add me on IG, check out my IG." And I'm like,
Right.
"Bro, like I literally just told myself 2 days ago that I was gonna stop messing with IG,
Right.
and now you guys are telling me I need this." So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Okay, but," and then you know, I met Tech, and he said add him. I added him. Then he hit me in the DM with his phone number, and he was like, "Yo, call me." And then I started talking to him on the phone, and the thing that really made me realize this guy was different was that, like, I didn't know he was a CEO. I didn't know he was the owner of the coalition. I didn't know any of that because
Mm-hmm.
really I didn't even know what the coalition was at the time,
Right. Right.
right?
Boss man.
But he
Mm-hmm.
he kept calling me, or like we kept talking on the phone, and like he would call me just to check on me.
Right. Right.
And like I told you, I was in a very dark place. Like I just got out of
Even
a
when you was doing the music.
well, that's the thing. I know the
Mm.
music brought the light back,
Okay.
and really the light came from Tech. If I'm being honest,
Oh,
because
okay.
like I said, I ain't have my friends wasn't messing with me
Right.
no
Right.
more,
Right. Right.
so I ain't have nothing.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
I literally was a lost kid going to Coalition Tuesday because Sonny told me to,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt good when I was in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And then I you know like Tech literally showed up in my life when there was nothing
Damn.
else, like period. Reed, Mike, none of them was messing with me.
Oh, that's what's up. We
Um,
gonna get DJ Tech some clap for that.
yeah, facts,
He's glad to hear that down for being a real
facts.
down to earth person. You know what I'm saying? Hold you down and shit.
Yeah, he I mean, he's low key like a saving grace for me, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kept talking on the phone, and he just called me to check on me. Like
Right.
he wouldn't call me for any deep conversation, just call me to check on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, bro, why is this dude that's in music calling just to check on me? Like
Mm-hmm.
I ain't worth that, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what do you what's why?
Mm-hmm.
And but he never asked for no money. And
Right.
that's the part that like really stuck out to me was like, all right, this dude's in music, he's calling to check on me, but he ain't asked for $1 once.
Right.
Like this is different.
Yeah.
This is way different from all the stories I've ever heard about music.
Right. 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 So he
And
was really building a relationship with you, with pretty much
yeah,
what it sounded like.
he was. And he was really building me up to believe in myself to be something.
Right.
He didn't know how deep my story went at the time. He
Mm-hmm.
knows now, but he didn't know at the time.
Right.
And I was lost, brother. I was lost.
Like that. So I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you something that you said about earlier when you said you went to California. What you said you went for acting?
Yeah, I went for acting.
What started that? What made you go out there for that?
I actually auditioned for the school when I was in high school. We went to SETC, Southeastern Theater Conference in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
And while I was there, we were allowed to audition. So I auditioned in front of like 40 different schools, 50 different schools, however many were there. The whole room
Mm-hmm.
was full. And there was a school in LA called American Musical and Dramatic Academy that
Mm-hmm.
called me back. And I went and redid the audition So they called me back, and then they were coming through Charlotte, and I went and redid the audition in Charlotte at the Sheraton Hotel by the airport
Right.
when they came through, and I went and did that, and the lady was like, "I see you being a leading man. I see you being like a young George Clooney," and I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, okay, that's cool."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like,
Hey,
"That's."
George Clooney that's a big dude now.
Yeah, man, that was around when Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12
For
and
real?
30. Yeah, that was around that era.
Yeah, he was
So
pop then.
George was the man at the time.
Yeah, he was
You
that
know what I
dude.
mean? And
Mhm.
like a kid of my age, like I knew George, but I ain't, catalog real credits
Right,
other
right,
than Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12. That stuff's fire. You
right.
know what I mean? So yeah, we as a school went to that because we won regionals, and then we were going to states. And while we were there, we all had the opportunity to audition, and my teacher was like, "I think you should audition."
Mhm.
And so I did. And AMDA, American Musical and Dramatic Academy, they're one of the schools that called me back. And me and my parents, we talked about it and everything, and I could either go to New York or LA.
Mhm.
And I ended up going to the school in LA.
Mhm.
And I really, my performing comes from me doing theater in high school.
Oh, that's good.
So like I love the live atmosphere. I
Right.
love interacting with the crowd. I
Right.
always have.
Okay.
And acting really gave me that foundation
Mm.
for being able to fill the boots while I'm there,
Right, right.
because there's just certain times that
Mhm.
you got to be able to move with the curve,
Right.
and I learned how to do that at an earlier age.
Well, it sounds like it helped
So
you then. It sounds like it helped you.
yeah, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. It definitely helped me.
Mhm. So when you say you went through that dark time, like what sparked that part of your life?
I think LA, man, LA, LA has definitely got a lot of darkness and bad entities.
Like that. For
It
real?
like that.
Damn.
Without going too crazy, it's like that.
Damn.
And it really scared my hometown. It scared my friends. They were like, "Where's Brennan? Brennan's gone."
What?
And yeah, he was, man. Completely different person, entity, and it
Mm.
LA LA really did a number on me.
No.
Yeah, man.
Well, at least you ain't came back like Rick James on cocaine and shit.
No, oh, no, no.
You know what I'm saying? He did that.
No, yeah, man. So
Mhm.
it was that way.
Well, it seemed like with your music career, it seemed like now that you say about your acting, because I was watching performance you did at the Sally, uh,
Oh yeah,
when it
yeah,
was the
yeah. The
Chili
Chitlin
Strut.
Fest.
Yeah,
Yeah, Chitlin Strut.
man, you
Yeah.
had the crowd all into you. I was like, damn, and I was like, damn, he really do real good, like naturally, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
From me just now, peeping you out, and I was like, damn, he pretty good. But now I listen to you now, I can see how that helps you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love being on stage. I love performing. I never thought about doing music,
Hmm.
like ever.
Yeah.
It just I fell into it, and low key the best high I've ever had. The
Hmm.
best high I've ever had is after a performance,
Like that.
because you're still riding on that, and that's all natural,
Mhm.
all energy, and all love, and uh that natural high that you get from that full atmospheric experience, I've never had anything touch it in my life.
Man, that's what's up. So, do people get you confused with a rapper?
uh I mean,
Because I thought you was a rapper. That's what I told Tech. I said, man, damn, he sound real good as a rapper. Yeah.
yeah, I've heard it a time or two. I do kind of got to tell people like, yo, I'm a singer, not a rapper.
For real.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it sounds like I'm rapping.
Well, you gotta think how the new age do too. They rap and sing together too.
Right,
You see what I'm saying?
right,
So we kind of that's how I took it. I was like,
right.
damn, that shit sounds good.
I get, yeah, like I understand. Like it's a rap, but I'm not rapping. Let's say
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
You know
exactly,
what I
exactly.
mean? Like it's lyrically flow, and there might be some purposeful timing to it,
Right.
but as far as rapping, that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah, it sounds good though. I
But
mean,
yeah, I appreciate it.
it blends in with everything because I was listening to it. I was putting book onto it earlier, and I was like, man, I was listening to it because I been ex tech when can you come down and do an interview.
Right.
So I was checking out the music back then, and I was like, damn, it sound really, really good. You know what I mean? And another thing I wanted to ask you was, what inspired you to make that music? Like, what kind of artists inspire you?
Um, I let's see.
Like that, gotta think about it.
Yeah, cause my initial inspirations come from growing up.
Mm,
Not okay, now that I'm making music, let me listen to people for inspiration.
right.
It really comes from what have I already been listening to my whole life
Mm-hmm.
that I enjoyed, that I appreciated when I was riding around the truck with my dad and my brother and stuff, but just never thought of, but never went that route.
Right.
Um, so definitely Toby Keith is one of the ones that
I
I grew
like
up
Toby
listening
Keith.
to.
Yeah.
Shout out Toby
Yeah,
Keith.
yeah, yeah. Shout
You know,
out.
yes sir.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like Dean Martin.
Dean Martin, I ain't never heard of him.
You've never heard of Dean Martin?
I think I heard that name, but I don't think I can think of no song.
How lucky can one guy be? I
I think
kissed her and she kissed
I think
me.
I do hear him that. Yeah.
So, you know, same in the same lane as Frank Sinatra
Yeah.
type music.
Okay.
And you know, that was my grandma. My grandma really liked Dean Martin. Growing up, my dad listened to Dean Martin, so naturally I listened to it too.
Mm,
Um, Roger Miller, that came from my grandpa.
Roger Miller.
Yeah, and these are probably people that not many people
I don't
would
know
really
too.
know.
Right.
But as I got older, I
Mm-hmm.
guess you could say, and kind of started growing into me and who I am, Jason Aldean,
Jason Aldean. Okay.
Luke Bryan, Eric Church for sure, Carolina boy, shout out Eric.
I about to say he from where? Eric Church.
He's from North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Cause I heard his name before. I just I don't can't recollect no music, but I heard that name before.
Yeah, Eric Church. You know, lyrically, I would have to go say that you know, Eminem, the way he's pieced words together over the years,
Yeah,
I've definitely paid attention to that.
he's the man.
He is, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like lyrically,
Definitely the man.
he's very in tune. Tupac. Tupac was
Oh,
lyrically
yeah.
very good. Biggie, I like Biggie. Um, because yeah, I like Biggie. I remember the movie Hardball with Keanu Reeves
Mm-hmm.
and one of the kids that was the pitcher, he used to play Big Papa on the mound, and
Yeah.
it just kind of stuck with me. Um I like uh I like Elton John.
Yeah,
I
John Straight.
I appreciate Elton John for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Killer. I like Queen.
Queen. Yeah, I heard it. That's a rock.
Mama.
That's a rock group, right?
Yeah.
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 I was about to ask you because you know who you remind me of? Nickelback.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Rockstar.
I'd take that as a I'd take that as a compliment for sure because I grew up
Hell
listening
yeah.
to them.
Nickelback is the
They're
shit.
killer, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
I used
killer.
to listen to them all the
Yeah,
time back in the
yeah,
day, bro. Like, yeah.
yeah.
That's what you remind me of.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's good. So what about your relationship status these days?
I'm single. I guess you would say, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Is it by choice or by
Oh
force?
man, it's by bull crap. But and that's a different story. That's a different story altogether.
Hey,
It should have been different, but
hey man, we all go through it. We all go
yeah,
through it.
you know, what the Lord's got a plan. That's all I can say.
Yeah. What it was more? Was it more about your career or?
No, I mean, you want me to be frank? My mom overstepped her boundaries and got too involved. So
Like that.
yeah, without being too crazy about it. Yeah,
Right.
she overstepped boundaries and got too involved. She said, "Here, balls in your court, baskets in your hand, take care of it." And I said, "All right, let me." And she wouldn't let me, and caused a bunch of crap in between, and next thing I know, it's like, what happened? And then think about it later. I'm like, oh, I know what happened now. I definitely know what happened. Grew up for 20 years dealing with it, so I know what happened. But you know, it is what it is, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and we'll just it ain't tripping or stressing too much about anything because, like I said, man, God's in control. That's ultimately what I got.
Right.
What everything boils down to is God is in control, man. And the worst thing I can do, especially with what Scripture says, is worry. Cast all your cares on Him, for He cares for you. So, and I've learned that a lot over the past couple of years that He definitely he definitely cares for me because I'm still here. And
Making real moves too. You making real moves.
and he's blessing me every step of the way.
Right.
And my faith is definitely keeping me in position to walk in purpose.
Yeah, that's good.
And I love it. I'm great. I'm even grateful all the way down to be here at this counter with you right now, man. I'm grateful for everything.
I've been checking with you. No, I ask about you all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it.
And so what's the music scene, the country music scene like in Charlotte?
There's not one.
There's not one? So you the first one.
Yeah, man. You know, the reason I came through the hip hop side is because that was the only avenues there were.
Oh, okay.
Now, granted, I wasn't. I Not many people can pull up to Tin Roof with a guitar in their case and say, "Hey, man, I play. Can I play something for you?" And if you like what you hear, will you put me on stage? Because Charlotte's a very it's a very DJ populated area.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's places that do live music and stuff, but a lot of it's like cover bands and people singing songs that are already known and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But if I had to say, man, there's really not one. There's probably a few people out there that are doing the same thing. They're not doing it the same way. I know that. But as far as country music in Charlotte, it's Coyote Joe's, which is like the spot, and they're booking people like Colt Ford and Ne Nico Moon and Tracy Lawrence type deals. They're booking people that are bringing a crowd instead of local acts like that. I actually got kicked out of there for trying to promote in there one night.
Really?
So yeah, I think it was CDs I had, and they're like, "Hey man, you can't do that in here." And I was like, "Dang bro, like how you expect me to get here if you don't let me do this here?"
Damn, so you get done like that too?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I got the OG in the corner, so he's
we
taught me the right way.
I'll tell you one thing, we can't say that's a racist thing then, because if you going through it in your own people club, you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
If you're a little dude, they just don't want to let you get up. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy to me.
You want to let people know who you are, kid? Show up on karaoke night.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's
what?
like, dang man, like where's the respect for the hustle these days? And I'll say that about everything and everywhere. I won't even just put it in that one space. I say everywhere. I got kicked out of Walmart parking lot for giving CDs and looking. And I mean, I wasn't even looking for money. I was just trying to pass them out. And I got kicked out of Walmart parking lot. So I drove down the road to Monroe Walmart. And as soon as I pulled in, I saw two cops sitting there. And I was like, this probably isn't a good idea. So I just,
They that serious about that?
I guess, man. I don't know. Like, it just people.
You ever tried the Raleigh area?
We've been to Raleigh a couple times. I haven't gone to Raleigh myself with like CDs trying to trap out the trunk or anything like that. But we have been to Raleigh a couple times for sure.
Is that music scene a little different?
It felt like it. It felt like it to me. It felt like they were more receptive to different. It felt like they were more receptive to the grind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There was places in Raleigh that were were open to hearing what you had to say.
Mhm.
Like, oh, you got a flyer, you got well, give me your pitch. You know what I mean?
Right.
And some people were like, nah, man, I'm good. Nah, man, I'm good. And nah, Raleigh, I think, was very much so open.
Did you try the clubs up there? Like the
Yeah,
bars?
we hit a few. We actually performed in one before we left.
Oh, okay. How did it turn out?
I don't remember the name of it.
How did it turn out, Michelle?
Oh, great. They loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was dancing up front with a few chicks and
Like
the
that.
DJ dropped me. Yeah, you know.
Hey man, this shit, you a star, dog. You gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I was just chilling, but
Yeah.
I was just jamming, hanging out, dancing with some chicks. Then DJ dropped my song, and I was like, "Oh, it's time." So
Like
then I
that.
just, yeah. So then I just kept dancing, did my own thing, and
Mhm.
let them know, "Yo, that was me."
Right.
They're like, "That was you?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." They're
Right.
like,
That.
"Oh, that's awesome. That's
Mhm.
cool." And I was like, "Yeah, man." So y'all check it out. Here's
Mhm.
some flyers and everything, and try to keep flyers everywhere we go,
Right.
because not everybody's gonna take the time to pull their phone out and go to their Instagram, and you
Yeah.
just have a flyer for them with a scan code. Just like, do this on your own time. Check it out on your own time.
Right.
But it's is at least worth the look, and to me, it's at least worth the effort to try to get you to look. So
Right.
that's yeah.
So let me ask you this: in any other area, because I just threw the area out, Raleigh. But what other areas you would say is more receptive to your music?
Let's see. Well, Colombia's receptive without even hearing the music. Colombia's receptive from the look.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, "Hey man, like the hat, like the boots,"
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
check out the music too."
You in you don't go to the Vista, that area down there in 5 Point?
Yeah, we've been there a couple times.
Oh,
We've been
okay.
there a few times. Actually, I had a bar down in 5 Points play my song just because I asked the bartender if I could play it through the speaker and he let me. So
That's what's
we
up.
played Country Baby. I think it was Breakers. I think it was Breakers played
Mhm.
Country Baby.
Okay.
Um, oh well, Brookland Tavern. I think we
Yeah.
performed there. I performed Beautiful Sights there.
Oh, okay.
Um, just for a little thing. Did some networking that night too.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and I hit 5 Point. Met Stevie Ray out there, the banjo guy. Shout out Stevie. Met him out there. They were walking horses and doing horse rides and stuff, and saw banjo, and we're like, "That's music. Let's talk." And
Right.
then I mean, I was just hanging out with him in Nashville last weekend.
Oh,
So,
you been in Nashville too?
oh, I be in Nashville too, man.
What?
I stomped the grounds of Nashville already
How
a
how
couple times.
how they receive your music?
Nashville loves it.
Mm.
They like it, man. They really do. Especially from when we first went. I'll put it to you this way: went up there, Country Baby, right?
Yeah.
Went up there, recorded Country Baby in a studio in Nashville with it's the Hitmaker. Shout out Hitmaker.
Okay.
Recorded that, made it with him. Shout out Snoopy for the beat too, by the way. Um, Recorded it, laid it down, rough mixed it. He broke it down, bounced it out, gave it to me. Then we went to the chicken coop
Mm.
and we went to check it out, and they were doing music while we were there. So I was like, um, you know what? And Tech was like, "Yo, go see if they'll play the record." And I was like, "Okay." So I walked up, and DJ Coop was up there, and shout out Coop. Um, I was like, "Yo, like I got this record. I just wanted to see if we could play it so I could see what the reaction's like." And they were like, "Yeah, we could probably do that." I was like, "Okay." And I was like, it's fresh off the skillet, man. Like I just recorded this thing like an hour ago.
Rough draft.
Yeah. And he was like, "Okay, so this is like test run." I was like, "Yeah, like this is very fresh." And he was like, "All right, we played it. Chicken Coop went crazy."
Mm.
And at the end he was like, hold up. We gotta play that back. So then he played it, and it got a double spin the very first time it ever got heard.
Damn,
So
that's good.
from
Yes,
there we're
that-
like, man, appreciate
Hell yeah.
it.
Hey, bro, you don't know how
Appreciate it.
hard that is.
I don't.
Shit, you better ask Tech. You boys done
I,
gave him so many wax songs down here. Hey, shit. Selling you, that's a hard thing to do. You need to pat yourself on the back for that one,
I appreciate it.
especially in Nashville.
Yeah, I don't, man, and I was just like I said, that's why I say God's been blessing us the whole way.
So, do you think you need to go out of your area more to like get yourself popping? Do you think you need to leave
I think
Charlotte?
I'll put it to you this way, because I've heard this multiple times, and this scripture keeps coming back to my mind every time I hear it. The word says that a prophet is not without honor except in his own country.
Mm.
So that means that, and Jesus already told us, the world hated me. So what makes you think they won't hate you too?
Exactly.
And the thing is, like, okay, you're talking the world hated you. What makes you think they won't hate me also? And then you say a prophet is not without honor except in his own country. So if I believe I got a dream, if I believe I was put here for a purpose, if I believe I'm that much of an instrument for the Lord, then what would make me think that my next door neighbor would put me on that platform?
Mm.
If there's already a word that tells me that that's not the way it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um
Very interesting. Yeah.
and the only reason I say that is because I see it over and over on Instagram, and people are asking the question, and it that scripture comes to my mind every time. And it makes sense because you go to Kentucky and you're great, you're different. You go to Nashville, you're great, you're different. You go to wherever. You go to Raleigh, you're great, you're different. You go Atlanta, you're great, you're different. And you even Florida, you're great, you're different. And you go to Indian Trail and it's like, oh, that's just Chisholm. That's Brennen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not that there's a I don't think it's that there's a hate when it comes, and this is just what's the word I'm looking for? General speaking, not like me, but
Right.
just general speaking. I don't think it's that there's a hate. I think it's that there's a sense of recognition
Mm-hmm.
to where people are like, I already have a um, knowledge of who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and this is not what I was introduced to. So like, yeah, I like it because it's cool. Do your thing, but do your thing, especially locally, means get yourself out there.
Yeah.
And so I would say, yeah, you do. You definitely have to travel to other places because I look at my streams, I look at my streams and stuff in Philadelphia, Canada,
Mm.
Houston.
What?
Yeah, all
I'm about to
those.
say they probably love you in
Oh,
Texas.
the shout out to Texas DJs, by the way, 'cause
Yeah,
I
damn
met
right.
them at the Fleet DJ conference, and they were all very much so supportive. So
Yeah.
shout out them. Um, but yeah, I look at my, then once you start having other cities be like, yo, like this kid's hot, then your city's like, dang, bro, you doing it like that? And
Right.
it's like, I, did you guys think I was kidding
Mm-hmm.
when I came and like I have so I don't drink, I don't party, whatever. Like, but I have a past, and everybody that I used to hang out with and kick it with and live that life with, they all got a shirt of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've given out 25 shirts, I think twice, or I say given out, they paid for them.
Right.
So they supported me. They've already showed me that they support me.
Right.
So like that's why I would say like no don't catch pearls before swine. So like don't just go to it, like I said, Walmart ran me off.
Yeah.
Walmart ran me off.
Right.
But my people, they were jamming my stuff at the bonfires,
That's what's
saying,
up.
Brennan, dance.
Yeah.
Brennan, do your thing. And this was before anything ever like took off like that. And just like, yo, Chisholm, go, dog.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like, all right. And then, yo, let me get a shirt. I want a shirt. That's hard. Let me get a shirt. I like a shirt. Let me get a
You
shirt.
gotta appreciate them people like that.
And shout out every single one of y'all,
Yeah.
man. Shout out
Appreciate it.
every single one of y'all.
Yeah. Give y'all some
Everybody.
clap.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody that was in the Dysfunctionals group chat, shout out every single one of y'all. I appreciate y'all. The Dysfunctional family is that. So thank y'all. And I love y'all, and I always will. And I want you guys to hear that.
Word. So, what was your mind state when you wrote "I Don't Drink"?
Oh, man.
That's a hard ass. And the thing about it is, you can play that anywhere, and it's just they'll start singing it. As soon as your second verse come on, they say "I don't drink." They start singing.
Yeah. And we actually were in Cheatham County the other day. Shout out Upchurch. Shout out Cheatham County. They were nothing but receptive. Um, Well, we were in there the other day, and I was actually going into liquor stores. And I told Tech, we pulled up to the first liquor store. I was like, man, I ain't been in a liquor store in 2.5 years, dog.
Like that.
Yeah. And I was like, this is the first time I'm going back in one. And I got a poster in my hand promoting myself. And I'm like, all right. But we went into I don't know. We went into a liquor store though, and one of the guys let us put the poster up, and the girls were like, yo, he doesn't let anybody put anything up, so we can't even believe he let you put that up. And then we're like, well, check out the music, though, while we're in here to listen to it. So we played them, I don't drink, and they were like, oh, I like this. They're like, I'm going to take shots to it, but I still like it.
Bro, I'm telling you, that's going to be one of them ones in a bar. They going to be taking shots, getting fucked up, and singing that. Hell yeah.
Down in tequila. No,
Yeah.
I don't drink.
And a whole bottle of tequila all on the floor.
And the thing is, man, I love it because do your thing, dog. Do your thing. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. To each their own. But if I can get you singing that positivity instead of negativity, then drink responsibly, please. I will push that behind every single promotion / run when it comes to that. Drink responsibly, but for sure, man, like just because I don't doesn't mean you can't.
Yeah.
And the music itself is just it's that song is good enough to get everybody just
that shit is a hit
in it, man. I appreciate that.
That shit is a real hit.
I appreciate that.
But you still ain't tell me how you.
I was just about to. I don't know.
Like that, you don't know.
Tech asked me the other day. He was like, "Man, where were you when you wrote that?" Well, mine's like, what were you thinking? I was like, Tech. To be honest with you, man, I can't even tell you where, when, or how.
Really?
Honestly.
Damn, because I was like, man, he must have been in like a real situation to write that.
I guess the best way I could put it is that song is about a real place. So I'll just go ahead. Shout out Jukebox, man. If it wasn't for Jukebox, half these stories wouldn't be what they are. But Jukebox was a solid place, down home place. Just because I don't drink no more and don't go by there no more, doesn't mean that Jukebox doesn't have a special place in my heart too.
Right.
So the song itself is about Jukebox specifically.
Okay.
The reason I say that is
that's a spot in Indian Trail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that the song itself is literally if you walked in the front door to Jukebox and I was playing that song as you were walking in the door, you would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Really?
Yeah, I walked in here many times before, smelled the smell of that cookie, seen the hardwood floor, wrap them up. We playing 8 or 9 ball, music on, beautiful sight, seesaw. Had a big crowd on the patio, and then there's a patio out back.
Right.
Cornhole boards. Probably don't tell nobody, but whatever. Cat's out of the bag. Smoked a few bowls out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Might have had a toke that illegal outside. Sobered up for the road once or twice. I mean, it's the story is in the lyrics. The story is in the song.
So it's basically about a bar and
Yeah.
a good time at the bar.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, okay.
And it's about I don't drink. Now, the concept of it is talking to a bartender. The concept of it is you're down on your luck, and where do you go? To the bar. Why? You want somebody to talk to.
Exactly, because you ain't got nobody to talk to.
You got the drinks, but you're looking for that conversation. You're looking for the enlightenment. You're looking
Right.
for the aha.
Right.
And I was actually thinking about it is there's an episode of Big Bang Theory where Sheldon goes and sees Penny at the bar, and Sheldon's like in his feelings, and he's like kind of showing that he's in his feelings without trying to say it, and he's like, "Aren't you supposed to just give me the bartender talk, oh, how can I help you type deal?" And then Penny just takes the towel, she puts it on the counter, and she starts wiping it like that visual, and then puts her elbow on. She's like, "What's troubling you, bud?" And that's really the concept of the song is I don't drink, but I do need somebody to talk to,
Right. Right.
and I put myself in a bar stool, and mentally I put myself in a bar stool at a jukebox, sitting there with no drink, but talking to the bartender.
Damn.
And so it's like, hey, you know, I just came to hear what you think.
Mm.
You know, because I don't drink no more, but I know there's wisdom and knowledge back behind this counter.
Mm.
Back behind this bar, there's wisdom and knowledge.
Mm.
Even though I don't drink, I, I did come to pick your brain.
Right.
And the the uh the lyrics of the song, the stories of the song,
Mm.
I I've had my time, but at the same time, I have my reasons.
Right. Right.
So that's where the lyrics come from. Yo, I lived this, I've done this, and here's some of my story, and then here's some of my reasons
Mm.
why I don't drink.
Right.
No,
That shit jamming like a motherfucker.
you know what I
Like,
mean? So
yeah. That was
that's the concept behind it,
okay.
and that's where it came from, and just I don't, as far as I think I just filled the space in one day and put the hook in and was like, I don't drink.
That shit jamming.
No.
That shit jamming, bro. I
I
ain't lying.
appreciate it, man.
Hey,
I,
that
I appreciate it.
another one that's jamming is that country booty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Country Booties is definitely jamming.
They definitely think that's a rap song.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I know you know that. Hey,
I know.
yeah, that's a hard song. What made you come up with that?
So that was Willie. Shout out Willie. Shout out Honcho. Willie Franco. He came up with the idea and the concept. We were in the studio one day just chilling, vibing, and you know, being the type of person that I am, and in hip hop and stuff, people that have met me over the years have kind of grown to know who I am,
Right.
the type of person and artist that I am.
Mm.
So it's like, hey, bro, like I feel like this would be cool.
Mm.
And then Willie brought the idea, and we were in the studio messing around, and I'm a writer first, you know what I mean? So I was sitting there going with actually something about my grandpa growing up in Arkansas or something like that. And Willie was like, "That's cool."
Your grandpa from Arkansas?
Yeah,
What
my
part?
grandpa's from Little Rock.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, grandpa's from Little Rock. Dad was born in Arkansas, and uncle was born in Arkansas.
Mm.
So his roots run deep in Arkansas Creek.
Man. And then it was some country ass people in Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas is great, man. Arkansas is the only
It is.
it's the only state in the country that you could cut it off from everything else and it would be able to survive because it has every natural resource.
Yep. I worked in the oil field.
Yep.
We actually fracked out there. In
Okay.
Searcy, Arkansas.
Okay.
That's how I know. When I was around there, I was like, God, dog, these people, and they cool as hell, man.
Yeah, man.
Real cool, real country. They hunt off the land.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool, man. That's real cool.
Yeah, it's dope down there. I like Arkansas.
Mm.
So yeah, we were sitting there and Willie was like, what about like something like, what your mama put in them beans? Girl, what you got? And I was like, in them jeans. I'm loving what I see.
Mm.
And he was like, so won't you put it on me? And I was like, I could tell you ate all your greens, the baddest thing I'd unseen. I walked in and noticed jeans busting at the seam.
Like
And
that.
then, yeah, and we were all in there, and then it was like, that country booty. And I was like, so thick and juicy.
Like that.
That, yeah,
See, that shit hard as fuck.
that's how it went, man.
Mm.
And then that's how it went. Honcho put the beat up, and then me and Willie went back and forth, and
Mhm.
you know, and then I was like, cornbread fed, yeah, man, that's cooking.
Yeah.
And Tech and Breezy were in there, and so that country booty, that the whole room was singing country booty.
Yeah. I was
And
jamming the hell out
and
of that.
that's how that was like. That the idea came from Willie, and then we organically every single one of us had a part in putting that thing together. And
That's good.
the energy is felt in the song. It's a dope song. Yeah, I mean,
Hell yeah, that shit dope.
it's a dope song.
That's why I say, bro,
So
like, regardless of what you might be a country singer, but a lot of people that's in the hip hop world gonna really gravitate to you, bro.
yeah,
Like, I'm telling you, they is.
and I'm grateful for that.
Hell yeah.
I am grateful for that.
Yeah, you jamming. You and the way you just speak it out, like you saying that shit like we having a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
that take real skill. I like that, man.
Appreciate it.
Yep. So who you going for the election this year?
Say that. Say what?
Who you going for the election this year?
Oh
I
man,
don't love Trump.
man. Can I say I'm not voting?
I'm not voting either, but I do fuck with Trump. That's my dog.
I was about to say, man, like, and I don't agree with Democrats. I don't really care who they put
Right.
on that stand, because you want to hear a politician, you want to see a politician lie, watch him talk.
I'm telling you.
You know
But
what
see,
I
the
mean?
best thing about Trump is
He's not a politician.
and if he lie, you can see it. He can't lie good.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be able to lie.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, so like I don't mess with Democrats because I don't agree with the agenda.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I pay attention to people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Trump's got faults. He's human.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
Like, of course he has faults. He's human. He might put his foot in his mouth sometimes and say things that he shouldn't be saying. But ultimately, the man only started running because he was sick of the way things were going.
In America.
He was never going to run for president in the first place.
Right.
He just got fed up.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the man knows everything about the world because his business has taken him everywhere.
Everywhere.
So he's seen everything.
Right.
And he's been in these rooms with these people for 20 plus years now.
So he know everything about them.
And it's like, oh, y'all just didn't expect him to come around and
be so boss.
start being bold in it.
Mm-hmm. Trump's
like
super boss though.
And the thing is that I feel like he's got favor. Let me say that.
Right.
I feel like as a man, he has favor.
Yeah, Trump, my God. I mean,
yeah.
Even my mom, my mom had died from cancer back in 2020.
Okay.
And we was sitting in there, and it was this is when they was going through the debate, and she was like, she was in the debate, and she said, Jeremy, there go your president. Because she always knew I liked Trump. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't about the presidency for me, man. Trump been on every rap song since I was fucking little.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's true too, though.
Yeah, so
that
he
is
always
true.
was the dude to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I wasn't gonna change my mind because he was the president.
Yeah.
It didn't make no sense because I always liked him. And I still like him as president.
And now, I mean, now the man cheated death, dog.
Bruh, how did they let that man get on that roof like that, though? Like, come on, man.
How did a lot of things happen that day?
Yeah.
That's the question. And why was the Secret Service director so quick to just run away and instead of try to defend something?
They should have shot him before he even shot.
And I was watching a thing on the news where they had local law enforcement checking the spot out and everything, and one of the guys was like, why didn't they have a secondary sniper team on that water tower watching everything? And I'm like, man, like, these are not things that I think about in my natural because I've never been in that type of category.
Right.
But when you hear it from their perspective, it's like, yo, this makes perfect sense. And it's just interesting. It's been super interesting.
Yeah, it has been.
Like growing up and seeing the way that the world has literally dug itself in its own pit is just um
Do you think it's our fault?
like
I'm talking about like us, because
I think that
still whatever decisions they make still affects us as a whole as a country.
yeah, I think that it's the people in power's fault.
Right.
Because I think that they make America so glorified that they feel like everyone else should bow down, and they use us as citizens as collateral.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
I agree.
They use us as citizens as collateral every time. Doesn't matter, regardless, as long as the agenda is pushed. And we are not the agenda.
No.
We never have been. And the thing is, now we're starting to realize y'all never cared about us.
It's a money play.
It's every bit, because, and I watched the Trump and Biden debate, and Trump's talking about nobody, and Biden's like, every country respects us, and Trump's like, nobody respects you.
Nobody.
Because they know that if they come asking you for money, you're gonna give it to them.
Bro, did you see Biden call? Hey, bro, I didn't cut you off, but did you see Biden call my man from Ukraine Putin?
Yeah, Zelensky. He called Zelensky Putin.
How you call the man Putin?
And then he called Trump Harris.
What?
He called Vice President Trump, and it was it's when Harris was still vice president. And I mean, I get it, man. Like it's obvious that the man is saying things and doing things that are like, we need to check and
Like
make sure.
dementia.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
That part. But let's every puppet has their own strings.
Right.
Let me say that.
I agree.
Because
that was one of the things that I told somebody. I was like, man, just think about how Biden whole 4 years was. I really don't think he made an actual decision.
No, the only thing he really did was like try to reverse everything that Trump did, and that was only because Trump did it.
But I don't think he did that. I think the people that was, like you said, the string pullers.
Yeah.
I think they did that.
Yeah, and I think that the string pullers are always making the decisions.
True.
And a mouthpiece is just a mouthpiece at the end of the day, regardless of what voice it's sitting in.
Right. But that's why I think they don't like Trump, because I don't think Trump gonna be no yes man.
No, Trump's not a yes man at all. And they also don't like Trump because he knows too much.
Yeah.
Because he's been around too long.
Yeah. And I got a bad feeling, bro. If they don't let him win this, I mean, not let him win, because everybody wants him in there.
Yeah.
But if they pull this shit like they pulled with Biden last year, it ain't gonna turn out good around here.
Man, I'm worried. I'm all right. I mentioned scripture a couple times. I'll say something else, but scripture says that when it comes to my Jesus, the government's on his shoulders. So I'll say that, but that doesn't change the fact that we're still living in it. And the question is, how deep does the iniquity and the wickedness go? Because let's be honest, the Biden and Trump election in the first place was probably finessed.
That was finessed.
It had to be. It had to be. Who
wanted Biden? Like, nobody wanted Biden.
So if the push was the man's too old, the man's going senile, he can't do this another 4 years, and the savior is Kamala, then it's like, is this enough to keep the narrative going?
Man, that shit is embarrassing trying to put her in there, man. Like I don't, and I'm not trying to sound biased or nothing, but I just don't believe a female can run this country. I'm sorry, and I'm not being like against females or nothing like that, but as far as country wise,
yeah,
I really don't.
No, I mean, I would sit here and agree with you, because like I definitely agree that there's certain positions of authority that just it needs to be a male doing, because for the strict fact of like handling business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter how much of a boss businesswoman you are. There's a certain sense of not disrespect, but there's a certain sense of like lack of respect if you walk in certain rooms.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just, I guess, the way it is. Like, I'm not saying it come from me, but
No.
I'm saying when you're looking at United Nations and you're looking at other presidents, and not just presidents, but dictators and princes and kings and all that, it's like, hey, like, that is not, it might be a power play in some places, but it's not in others.
Not others, yeah.
And I do think that ultimately in positions like that, a man can have a better grasp on everything.
Right.
And especially when it comes to emotions, like, because women are more emotional.
Exactly.
And we know that.
And yeah, they'll make a fucked up decision.
And so, like,
sure
a red button could get pushed just because the avocado got left off the sandwich.
Or she might just start her menstrual and just want to flip the fuck out.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
and then it's like, she comes back and her apology is, "I'm sorry, y'all. It was my time of the month."
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, no, don't worry, don't worry about the fact that you just called our whole entire nation a POS or whatever, just because you were in the wrong state of mind.
Exactly.
And and I'm just talking, but at the same time, it's based on real facts, like,
Right.
so.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine, man. But I don't, as far as that presidency thing, I'm with you. I'm really not voting. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always done by electoral columns anyway. They always pick them anyway.
Yeah, and that so I failed civics and economics. I took it twice and I failed both times.
Like that.
Yeah, so like I never understood it even when I was being taught it, and I'm just watching it being lived out in front of me, and I'm like, everything you guys taught me that's not even how it works.
Right.
Like, you got 3 people for each state that make their own decision, and you got 250,000 people in the state that turn around and vote and think they matter, but when it boils down to it, they don't.
Yeah, they don't.
And it's like, this is a crop, every bit of it. So, excuse me for not learning it while I was 15 years old.
Exactly.
I'm sorry for not paying attention to something that was a lie. You know?
That was a good one. Oh shit. So where everybody can find you at, man? So we can wrap this thing up.
Oh man. Y'all can find me on YouTube at Brennen Myers, BrennenMyers. You can find me on Instagram at Brennen Myers, BrennenMyers. You can find me on all streaming platforms at B Myers, B period space Myers. And you can find me on your local podcasts, your local stations. And if you listen to the music, then you'll find me in your heart as well. So, I appreciate y'all, man.
Oh, man, yeah, definitely.
I definitely appreciate y'all. It was a pleasure. And y'all check out the single I Don't Drink. Shout out DJ D Tech. Shout out Quality Entertainment. Shout out the whole gang. Shout out the whole team, man. Things are moving. We're making things happen, and it's always for a purpose. So like I said, I'm grateful to be around, man.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's good, man. And we out of here, man, at MDN Network for you. Modern day niggas. That's important. We ain't nothing to do. We'll check with y'all, man. Peace.
Peace.